Hey, hi, how are you? My name is Megan, and I want to ask you, who are you? Tell me, who are you? Because when you start that, you're going to start with I am. And that's a pretty important place to start. Because what you say you are determines what you believe, how you act, how other people see you, basically determines your entire life. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about who you say you are and about why you have to start taking yourself so seriously. Because you could say whatever you want, and whatever it is that you're saying is having a really big impact on what you do and how much fun you have, how confident you feel, how anxious you feel. That's really important. If we've not met, my name is Megan. I am a life coach for people who are stressed and anxious. And I'm going to start picking some of that away for you today. But first, I'm going to start with a story. And I want to tell you about a couple of weeks ago when I went with my friend. You can find him here on Instagram. His name, or his Instagram handle, I guess, is Be a Disruptor. He does like social media branding, marketing work. And he knows a lot about LinkedIn. And I did not really know anything about LinkedIn, but I kind of knew Derek from around town. So I reached out to him and asked him if he could help me with that. So we met for coffee. He told me all the things I needed to know about LinkedIn. And I ended up, I'm sitting there thinking, just sell me something. Like I want to work with you. So I bought his course. It was amazing. I learned how to do LinkedIn, and he said, we should do photos. And I was like, hell yes, we should. And also at the same time, I was like, hell no, we shouldn't. Because I have had this thought since I was little about what I look like in pictures. And it all stems from something that happened on a school bus in elementary school, where all good stories start. Crappy things that kids say to other kids when you're little, and how those things sometimes like stick into your little psyche and determine how you feel about yourself forever. When honestly, sometimes they're mean, and maybe they were meant to be mean, but sometimes they were just questions that kids asked that you were already self-conscious about. And that is really what happened with me. Like I had this kid ask me one time on the school bus if I was cross-eyed. And I remember being like heartbroken because I felt weird in pictures, and I knew that my parents had taken me to like eye doctor and stuff when I was little because I had this thing where when I turned my head a funny way, it would make my eyes look weird in pictures. And that's still true for me. And so I've been self-conscious about it since I was little, and told myself that I should never have pictures taken because I look really, really weird. And that I somehow have some sort of like face dysmorphia where I feel like I turn into Quasimodo. So now you know all of the things that I say to myself that are really crappy. And I went to this photo shoot, which by the way was the most fun, and I had the best time, and I can't wait to do it again. But when it started, I was so up in here with these stories and things that I had been telling myself since I was, 7, maybe? Somewhere along the line about what I look like in pictures. So I'm telling myself all of these things, like I am so freaking awkward. I look terrible in these things. I don't know what to do. And the more I paid attention to how I felt and the things that I thought, because when you say I am awkward, you feel awkward and you behave awkwardly, which makes you look awkward. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm like noticing that like I have these long things hanging off my body that I don't know what to do with. I'm like, what do people do with their arms? I don't know. I'm not a model. I don't know how to do this. And it's like they're frozen, right? So I'm dealing with all of these thoughts in my head, and it was uncomfortable, right? But I'm like super stoked because I've been wanting these pictures to use on social media, to use on my website, to use for all these different things for a really long time. And I was not going to say no, and I was going to go all in. So I did. It ended up being a really great time, and I learned a lot about what I would do differently next time, which is really a great point for any time you're going into something and being willing to be uncomfortable and being willing to fail. It's really just noticing what you're telling yourself in the moment with these stories. So getting back to this idea of not taking yourself so seriously, and me showing up as a 48-year-old woman who has pretty much avoided pictures for the most part for most of her life, and who's like, oh my God, who do you think you are? Like, what are you doing right now? Because I'm standing in this alleyway next to this amazing pink wall, like influencer style, but absolutely 100% not. and trying to make it work. And it was fantastic. But the self-talk that I had was not so fantastic. And the reason I'm talking to you about this today is because this is something that I talk with people who I coach about all the time. And remember that I mostly coach people who are anxious and stressed, not always, but mostly. And some of the things they say to themselves about, I'm just stupid. I'm just stupid. And when you say, I am, insert crappy thing, that I am is a declaration to the world. Like, let me introduce you to myself. I could say I am Megan, or I could say I am stupid. Either way, you have just identified yourself. I am is also, depending on what your beliefs are, sometimes spoken as the name of God. God said, I am. Whatever it is, you're basically saying, this is me. All of me is this. So when you say I am stupid, everybody says, oh, gotcha, you're an idiot. You're stupid. We don't know about you. And then you'll start finding all of the evidence that you need to prove yourself right. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you say, I am awkward, you will feel awkward, you will behave awkwardly, and people will see awkward. When you say, I am anxious, you are saying, this is who I am as a person, as a whole being, I am anxious. And you will find more places that anxiety is showing up in your life, and you will become more anxious because you're becoming more of yourself. But here's the deal. Even if you are anxious 98% of the time, there's still 2% where you're not. So it's not 100% and it's not true. You feel anxious often. I feel anxious is different than I am anxious. I feel stupid is different than I am stupid. I feel awkward is different than I am awkward. So when you are saying I am anxious, you are becoming that thing. That is just who you are as your entire person. And this is really something that I work a lot with people, and just noticing the things that you say about yourself because you feel something, or because you were told something on the school bus when you were a little kid, or maybe you learned to say it from your parents, or from maybe your brother said it to you once. Like, God, you're an idiot. That doesn't mean it's true. Just because somebody else said it doesn't mean it's true. Just because you said it doesn't mean it's true. And when you start looking at the facts, when you start looking at all the times that you actually were smart, or the times that you weren't awkward, like you were confident and you went in, or the times that you aren't anxious, even when they're tiny times, that disproves the fact that you are that thing. But you have to direct your brain to go there, because your brain already is set in this path. So I want you to picture the fact that your brain is already growing, and it's growing out these like little fingers to find all the things that you believe so it can collect evidence. That's what it wants to do. But since your brain is always growing and always changing, it's always growing more fingers. So like, one pops up over here, show it where to go. Show it, oh, you just said you're stupid, but let's just find a way that you're not stupid. You feel stupid, and you just change even just that one word. So changing from I am stupid to I feel stupid is enough for your brain to say, oh, that's a feeling, feelings go away. I feel stupid right now, but that doesn't mean I am stupid. I just feel that way. The same is true with anxious. You have to start showing yourself when you're not anxious. When am I confident? What am I good at? What am I doing? And it's going to feel awkward and untrue to begin with, because you've practiced saying the other things for so long that those other 5 fingers are really great at finding evidence for what you've been believing. But you can change your beliefs at any time. All you have to do is think other things until your body and your brain accept them. Are you following me here? So when you say I am anything, make sure it's what you want to be. Maybe it's not how you feel now, but it's where you want to be in the future. And I help people just start digging those, like, what did you just say to me? We'll be on a coaching call, and it's not weird for me to be like, stop. Say that one more time. What did you just say? And just having them say, I said this. Yeah. Let's not say that anymore. Let's just be really conscious of not saying that. Or on the flip side, what did you just say? I said I'm really good at this. Say it again. Say it again until your brain's like, oh, wait, I really am good at this. This might seem trivial, but guys, this is kind of this idea of neuro-linguistic programming. When you think something, when you say it, it becomes your truth. And we practice those new truths because you can tell your brain whatever you want. Don't forget that people come up with crazy conspiracy theories. They come up with crazy stories about who they are, but it's just what they've thought on purpose for a long time, or something that's entertained. It's a thought that they entertained that created an emotion. So back to my school bus story. When I was probably 7 years old and this kid asked me about my eyes and I answered him, it struck a nerve. It hurt my feelings. I was like 7 and like a little kid, it hurt my feelings. So because that hurt my feelings, my brain is going to do its best work to protect me from feeling that again, which really I'm an adult now. It's fine. You can ask me what you want. Maybe it hurts my feelings and I'll be fine. But just notice that when you have an emotional reaction to that, you might think it's true because you felt it in your body. But when people compliment you, how often do you hang onto the compliments? And how often do you pay attention to the things that you can say about yourself that are true and good, that feel really good inside of you? It's where you're directing your focus. So when you are constantly being hard on yourself and you're taking yourself so seriously, I have to be perfect. I can't mess up. Don't fail. Don't say the wrong thing. Make sure that nobody's looking at you. Whatever it is that you're doing, I have to go give this. I can't go in here and not know what I'm talking about. Give yourself a little bit of grace and really start focusing your brain where you want it to go. Because when you do that, you start accepting all the parts of yourself. You start saying like, yeah, sometimes I'm awkward. For sure. Sometimes I am awkward. Sometimes I am like, I don't know, guys. Some days I can't focus. That happens. But some days I'm brilliant. It depends on the day. But for the most part, I'm doing pretty good. Okay? Some days I feel anxious, but not every day. I'm not anxious. It's just sometimes I feel anxious. And so do you, because that's a pretty normal human experience. Those are the things we want to start paying attention to, because when you can just say, sometimes this is who I am. Sometimes I do really weird things. Sometimes I'm forgetful. Sometimes I am whatever, awkward. Okay? When that's the thing that you're noticing and you just make it as like occasionally here I am, and you start accepting that. You get to also accept the fact that there's really great things about you, and accepting things as they come. Accepting that sometimes you're going to feel anxious means that you're not fighting it off. It means you're not pushing it away. And it doesn't mean that you're trying to never feel that way. It just means like, I've got this every time it comes through. You start to have more fun because you're not afraid to screw up. You're not afraid to do it wrong. You're not afraid to say the wrong thing. You just go with it and say like, nope, this is who I am. And when that happens, you start feeling really confident. And when you feel confident, anxiety loses its power over you. You don't have to control it because you know you've got whatever comes. It's incredible what changes. It really is. You start taking vacations, even though you're afraid to fly. You start asking for what you want and need without worrying what somebody's going to think about you. All of the things. This is so much fun, and I hope this is helpful for you. Before I go, I want to ask 2 things. 1, I want you to tell me who you are in the comments. I am something. Make it good. Don't make it something mean and nasty about yourself. The second thing, if you want to win a $25 Starbucks gift card, I'm asking for a little bit of help here. I have a podcast. It's called the More Than Anxiety Podcast. You can find it anywhere you listen. Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, all the places. If you will go there and leave a 5-star review and a comment, that helps other people find the podcast so they can get the help they need to feel less anxious, less stressed out, more confident, and feel amazing. It is a free resource. And because the way the algorithms work and the way that all of the little libraries and things work, the more reviews and the more stars that people get, the more they are recommended, which just means it's so much easier for other people to find that podcast as well. Just shoot me a DM, send me a message on Facebook or wherever and say, Megan, I left this review, I left this comment, and I'm going to enter you to win the Starbucks gift card. It is open until the 27th. So anytime between now and the 27th, go do it now so you don't forget, so that you can be in the drawing. And I appreciate that so much because you are helping so many other people find the resources they need to feel better. I am absolutely 100% intent on taking this anxiety epidemic and chopping it off at the knees. We don't have to keep being this way. We don't, our kids don't. We can solve this, and you get to help. Thanks, you guys. I hope you have a really great Friday and a really great weekend, and I will be back next week. Take care.